Welcome back to the Travsessed podcast. We're your hosts, Kim and Aaron. We're healthcare travelers and the creators of Travsessed. And today is Tuesday, so it is another traveler quick tip. And we're going to be talking about how to make the best first impression and have the best first day, which honestly can set the tempo for your entire contract.
We're going to share all of our tips and tricks.
Well said.
But first, if you are listening to this episode, be on the lookout because this Thursday, we are launching our membership site to all of our founding members. We launched it last week to Traveler School.
Oh, yeah.
Is that why you're looking at me crazy?
I was, because I'm like, we launched it already.
To the
Traveler School,
students.
right, I forgot.
So we are offering a founding members exclusive offer to everybody who is on our email list. So if you are not on our email list, you can go ahead and join to get the information about the membership site. The link will be in the show notes, so you can just click that, join the email list, and then be on the lookout for Thursday. I don't know what the date is.
Wait.
June 27th.
Nice.
Oh, it's the day after my dad's birthday.
Oh.
And we will be sending out an email with all of the information. So it will go over exactly what's in the membership site, what you can expect, and what the founding members offer is. And it's something you're not going to want to miss, trust me.
No, it is. The founding members, you're going to know that you're a founding member. You'll feel it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be something that you're going to want to be a part of, because the membership site in general, the membership app is actually like amazing for travelers and everything that we have in there. But on top of that, just the offers, the deals, the price is literally something you're not going to want to miss.
Yeah. And so just real quick, what's inside of the membership site, we'll go over it in more detail in the launch email. But you get full access to our online course, Traveler School, which is amazing. It's an 8-module course that walks you through everything you need to know, all the logistics about healthcare traveling, how to make the most money, how to negotiate.
Find the best recruiters, interviews, resumes, all of it, from start to finish, first days, everything.
Yeah, start to finish, A to Z, everything you would want to know logistically to set yourself up for success. So you get full access to that course inside of the membership. You'll get access to monthly lifestyle workshops, which we are really excited about because in Traveler School, we go over every single logistical thing you need to know, right? All the tangible things for traveling. But with the workshops, we wanted them to be more fun. We wanted them to be things that were inspiring and things that you could think about and play with and try like during your traveling journey that would keep you you're still learning something new, but it's more fun and inspiring about the lifestyle of traveling.
It really does play to the lifestyle that we currently have as travelers, with the time freedom, the money freedom, and how you can really elevate that experience. And it's kind of like things that Kim and I have seen throughout our 13 years of traveling, and so ways that we've been able to capitalize our own life, and also through the eyes of other travelers, because other travelers are going to be teaching some of the topics as well, which is really, really cool.
Really freaking cool. And then we're going to have discounts to all of our adventure trips, all the Travsessed adventure trips, which we don't offer discounts. It's not something we've ever done, and it's not something we ever will do unless it's for inside of this membership. It's a perk of being in the membership site. So you'll always get a discount to every single Travsessed trip that we launch. And so even if you only go on one trip and you want to go on one trip, you get that discount. That discount ends up paying for your membership for almost 2 years, which is crazy. So it's like you're basically getting the membership for free and a discount to one of the Travsessed trips. But you get a discount to every trip that for the time that you are a member. So if you're always a member, you will always get a discount for every single trip.
Not only that, if you don't know about our trips typically sell out in 24 to 48 hours. And so Travsessed alumni who have been on trips before actually get first dibs. But those travelers usually go on new trips, right? New trips that we launch. Our Travsessed alum usually takes those spots, but the spots that they don't fill comes to the membership, not anywhere else.
Meaning the membership, if you're inside the membership, you'll get second dibs for the rest of those spots. And then once you join a trip, you become Travsessed alumni and you get first dibs.
First and second.
Yeah, basically.
Can't miss it.
And then we're also, because one of the big things that we're really excited about and passionate about, and something that these adventure trips have really inspired for us, is wanting to bring the travelers together in real life more often, right? Because we see these beautiful friendships that are created on these trips and these connections, and it's just something that you can't describe unless you've been on one of our trips. And so we understand that, like, going to Bali, not everybody can just jump on a plane and fly across the world, right? Or get 2 weeks off, like, and the timing has to be perfect. And so we're like, how can we bring people together more often in real life? And so for the membership people, we are going to be doing where Aaron and I we basically plan meetups in the US where we plan everything, and all you have to do is show up and meet other people, other travelers inside of the membership, and just plan to do that as often as, the plan is to do it quarterly, but we're going to try to do it as often as we can in different locations all around the US. And I think that's just going to be such a cool way
awesome.
for us
And we've
to
actually done a couple meetups, like 3 or 4 within the United States, just randomly. We put them together and people showed up and the friendships happened there. And it was just really cool to be able to cultivate that. And we really want to take that on a big level, because once you have the logistics, once you learn how to maximize your lifestyle, and then you meet your travel bestie, like, that can set you up for an eternity of amazing travel experiences.
Oh, 100%. Like,
that's the trifecta.
Taking contracts together, doing other adventures together, hiking together, meeting up for long weekends together. Like, I love seeing the friendships that are created, and just, you're like, oh my God, I'm a traveler too, and like, let's try to plan to get a contract together, and let's schedule a contract where we're both off at this time so we can go on this trip together. And just, they're lifetime friendships, and you get each other and you live similar lifestyles, and it's just like a really cool bond. So to be able to do that and bring people together more. And then lastly, we're creating inside the membership that will grow with the membership and the people who are in it. It's basically, like, I guess you would call it like a database. And it's going to have cool things to do in all these different locations. So like hikes, breweries, restaurants, cool, just things to do in that area, where we can all kind of contribute to that and be a place that you can go if you're taking a new contract or going somewhere new. You can look and be like, ooh, I'm going to go do this hike or go to this brewery or go to this restaurant based off the recommendations that are in the database. So,
and there's a community app. You can message Kim and I. We're there to support you. You can talk to other people within the community. It's a full community kind of inspired chat area as well.
It's going to be litty titty. Make sure you get on that email list. You can join it with the show notes, the links in the show notes. Be on the lookout. The email will go out at 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 27th, and you'll get all the details and an amazing opportunity to join as a founding member.
And I will say, as that founding member, as our app continues to grow, you will always be locked into that price.
Oh, yeah, which is huge. Yeah. So, and we plan to do a lot of cool stuff and add a lot to this. So we're just getting started. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about first days. So we've been traveling for 13 years. We've had a shit ton of first days. And there's always a lot of nerves that come with your first day, because...
It doesn't get easier.
No, I mean, I think you kind of... The more you've traveled, the more of a system you have that kind of prepares you and gets you set up to go in on your first day. But at least for me, it's as... No matter how long I've done it, I'm always so nervous walking in on that first day, just kind of waiting for the person to come get you, bring you back to the department. Just like, what is it going to be like? What are the people going to be like? What's the vibe? And there's so many nerves.
No, there is. And it's funny. I think the only thing that's progressed for me is, like, I no longer have nerves around my skill set. No matter what I'm thrown into, it's more now just nerves of who I'm working with, the doctors, how's the environment going to be, what's the flow, you know, what are my coworkers like? And so that was good, because at one point, I remember when I first started, I was literally nervous about my own skill and being put in a position that I didn't know how to do something, and the coworkers. And that was like never any fun.
Right. So I think first off, let's start with kind of preparing before you even walk in to that front door, into that department. And so one thing that we've always done, because I always find that the more prepared I feel, the more relaxed I feel, right? You're going to have some nerves, but you can at least try to get yourself prepared. And so we'll always do a drive-by of the hospital. So I want to know the roads. I want to know where I'm going. And you might not always know where to park, but sometimes they'll tell you like, you're going to be parking here, like in your orientation email you get, like once you get your first day stuff from your recruiter.
It's typically before the first day. Like you're going to get it on a Friday before you start on a Monday.
Yeah, but a lot of times too, like if you don't, they'll handle parking when you sign, like on your first day, you have to go down to like the parking office, whatever. So I like to know where's like that visitor's parking, where you're just going to pull into that parking lot. This is where I'm going to park in the morning. I'm going to walk into the department, and then I'll kind of go from there. But I just like to familiarize myself, because the last thing I want to do is already be nervous and like driving to work, and I'm like, fuck, I missed the turn, and where am I supposed to go? And I'm looking at my GPS, and like to me that just stresses me out. So I already want to have an idea of where I'm going so I can enjoy that ride in with like a cup of coffee and like a podcast, or like just like talking to yourself like you got this, whatever it is, but like doing whatever you can in that car ride to get yourself in a good headspace to show up and feel confident.
I will say too, back in the day, before all the technology, Kim and I would actually try to get up early one day during the week if we knew where we were going, and try to see what the traffic pattern was like too. Is traffic really heavy? And even though it says only 16 minutes to work, it's actually 35 with traffic, right? So, but now I've seen with Google Maps, you can actually put in what time you want to arrive to the hospital, and Google Maps will show you what time you should leave based off of traffic trends. So it gives you a time, but always like I'm always there super early on my first day.
Oh, 100%. I'm like, I would rather be sitting in the parking lot, 20 minutes early than pulling in on two wheels, stressed out. Like, that's just not I just don't roll like that anyways. I'm always going to be the person that's early. I like to give myself plenty of time, because if I feel like I'm running late, even in the morning with you, when I take you to work in the morning, and it's not even me clocking in, but every morning we leave at 6:40 on the dot, and that's the time we have to leave. I drop Aaron off at work, I come home, I go number 2, and then I leave to go to the gym. And it's very like structured and scheduled. And like, if it's like 6:45, I'm like getting anxious. I'm like, no, we have to go. Even though I know we have plenty of time, I just like to be early to things.
Well, no, and I mean, we're even like that at the airports. We're going to be sitting at our gate.
That's fun.
2 hours earlier, head to a lounge and like figure out where our gate is.
Hell yeah.
So we always do that.
Well, now
anyway.
that we found lounges, which also another plug for the membership site. The first workshop is all about all of our
lounge
tips
culture
and tricks for how to get access to lounges, because getting lounge access completely changed our whole travel life, which is now why we get to the airport so early.
Whoop.
Okay, so get yourself there. Start your morning good. Like, give yourself have breakfast. Like, do a workout if that's your thing, but like just try to get yourself into a place that you feel really confident and like energized.
Totally.
Get a good night's sleep. All of those things like we know to do, right?
I will say too,
you want to feel like your best self walking in.
I have done this. I did it on this contract, and I've done it before, and it is a game changer, and I do really enjoy it, and I would suggest it to you all listening as well. Is like, for instance, Kim and I were in Charleston, West Virginia for a while, and we had explored, and I went to the city market, which everybody likes, or Capital Market.
I love that place.
And there's this like truffle, like these homemade truffles that are famous. And I bought like 60 truffles, and I took them into work in the box and just kind of gave them to the department. And was like, hey, like, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. This is just a gift for the department, just kind of in a way to introduce myself. So a lot of people would be like, Aaron brought it, and they're like, who's Aaron? They're like, oh, the new traveler. And then people come on and be like, hey, you're the new traveler. Nice to meet you. Like, thank you so much for bringing in the truffles. And it kind of went a long way, because it spread throughout the department. So then people were coming over that normally wouldn't come into the department just to say hi. So I got to meet pretty much everybody due to the truffles.
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Or bring in like a box of Joe or,
donuts
bagels or whatever. Something. Yeah. So I think that's a really nice touch too. And I think, okay. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is, obviously you're going to get into the department and you're going to spend however long based on the department and how they train, but you're going to be in this learning process, this learning curve, and you're going to learn the systems and how the computer systems work. And as a stenographer, how if it's a new machine, you're learning the protocols, just like all the nuances of a new place. Like it's a lot. Like I remember those first couple of weeks, really, I would, after starting a new contract, like I would come home and feel so drained because I just felt like it's so much energy and so much focus because you're learning something new. And then after those 2 weeks, it's like you kind of go back into autopilot almost, where it's like it's not as much because you're like, oh, I got this, whatever. But those first 2 weeks, I would be exhausted.
Oh yeah, they're rough.
And so what I do and what I suggest is that you have a little notebook and a pen. And those first couple of days, I am asking a lot of questions and I'm writing things down. So like your logins for your computer, like the steps that they go through on their system to check patients in, check them out, like chart, all of the things. I'm like writing everything down so that I also will go home later, like when I get home, and I'll go over everything and I'll even rewrite it in my notebook because that helps me remember things. And so it allows me to have the information I need without having to continuously ask the same questions over and over. Like, wait, how do you do that? Wait, how do you charge for that? Wait, where do you find the schedule again? Like, there's so many redundant things that you can ask over if you're not just like writing things down as you go.
Well, totally. And I think, I just actually, believe it or not, you said that, had a conversation with the IR doc that I was working with the other day last week, and he was literally like, what I hate the most is when I have to reinvent the wheel every single time. He was like, I've been working here for how long, and they ask me the same questions over and over and over and over, and we've done 15 of these last week, and like they're asking the same questions. He's like, it's so much for me to just focus on like the patient and what I'm doing in the procedure, to then have to basically reteach the procedure to everybody. And he's like, that's so frustrating. And it's funny because I feel the same way. And like, as a traveler, that goes a long way when you see something that's nuanced or something that you don't think that you'll remember and you write it down. Like, for instance, IR. It's like if the doctor does lidocaine needle scalpel instead of like lidocaine scalpel needle, like, or their glove sizes, or like how they, like, I write everything down so that way the next case, it's like I did one and the next one I'm already on it, and they look at me like, holy crap, dude, like how did you pick that up? And I was, it's just like they notice when you're not asking a bunch of questions.
Well, pay attention to the details.
Pay attention to the details, but write it down so that way you're not constantly asking and like constant, the same questions over and over and over again. And
that being said, don't be afraid to ask questions, because I think that's really important in the beginning. Is that if it's unfamiliar, it's okay. Ask fucking questions. Like, it's like you're a student. Just ask as much as you need to know to just feel confident to do your job. So I like to get in there. I ask a bunch of questions. I write everything down. I try to like really focus on the details and just learn as much as I can, because my goal is to jump in there and just be as self-sufficient and as quickly as I possibly can, which kind of leads into the next point is like, jump in there, roll up your sleeves, like scan the patient, do the procedure. They're like, travelers will kind of just like milk it or sit around, or they're kind of nervous, or they're like, whatever, I'll just kind of like milk this training as long as I can. And for me, what helps me feel more confident and just like more comfortable faster is, especially if I'm using a new machine or they just do things differently, I'm like, let me just get in there and do it. Like, I have to put my hands on it. I have to do it. I have to be with the patient. I need to get back into my flow. And so I just like to jump in as quickly as I possibly can, do my thing, because then after the first couple of patients, I'm like, okay, like, and I'm like, let me do it from start to finish. Let me do the computer. Let me grab the patient. Where do I get the patient? Where's the room? Learning the machine, even if it takes me longer because I'm learning it. It's not a machine I've worked with before. Doing it from start to finish after a couple of times, I'm like, okay, I get it. And like, that's the kind of energy you want to bring. Like, as a traveler, you're coming there, you're there to be helpful. You're filling a spot. A lot of times they're short staffed. They need the manpower. They need the help. So don't kind of hide back in the shadows and lurk around. Really jump in there, get it going. You'll feel comfortable faster and they'll appreciate the hustle. And I think when you start out that way, it sets the tone, right?
100%.
And they're like, wow, like, cool, like, this traveler is going to be good. Like, she's a go-getter. She's confident. She's like helpful. She's asking questions. She's writing stuff down. Like, she's doing it.
Even though you're shaking in your boots the whole time.
Yeah, even if you're nervous, but it's like, and I would rather start off that way, and then even like once you get comfortable down the road, you can be like, oh, I don't feel like doing this portable or whatever.
I can
but
tell you
know
too,
what I mean? Don't start off that way.
There's a lot more leeway for somebody that gets in there and jumps in and then asks questions, or maybe like doesn't do it completely properly. Like, there's a lot more leeway than if you just don't do anything and then you like are messing up or whatever. I always say that there's a 2-week buffer that I get to screw up. And then I'll learn it as I go. But like, I jump in there, first case, let me scrub it, let me get in with the doc. Like, I need to see their flow and just let me do it. And if I don't give them what they want, that's fine. Like, I'm learning still their flow and they're learning me. And like, but there's a lot more leeway to messing up in that time frame than it is if I just never scrubbed.
Right. 100%. And I think the last thing is just showing up and being friendly. Like, obviously don't be who you are, whatever that is for you. Like, don't come in like a freaking clown.
Yeah.
Like, if that's not you. But I think that goes a long way. You're the new person. You're coming into a group of people that already know each other. That can be intimidating on its own. And so it's like going in and being friendly and like asking people questions. And I always find what helps kind of break the ice too is obviously you're asking questions about the department and the flow and the patients and all the things, but also just being like, hey, like, do you guys recommend any hikes around here, or
good restaurants,
cool places for dinner? And I have like an ongoing note in my phone of the area that I'm in, and that also, like, they want to talk about their city and what they like to do. And so then you get to learn about them and they get to share with you. And I feel like that's always a good conversation starter. And I like to start there.
100%, because if you're asking about the department a lot of times it gets into the negative, the drama and like, stay away from this person and this and that. So I love just talking about cool things to do
outside of
work, and then ask the questions when I need it. Like, because then it's like, either there's a patient in the room and I'm like, hey, like, where's you guys' linen cart? Like, oh, it's over there. Cool. I'm going to go grab some linens, instead of being like, hey, like, where's this, or how's this doctor? And they're like, oh God, like, so, I don't do it when there's no patients and we're all sitting around, because it just doesn't go down that path. So when we're all sitting around, I just like to get to know my coworkers.
Yeah.
And then if I have questions or if somebody's asking, then, if the topic's there, then we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Be friendly. Put yourself out there socially. Put yourself out there, with your skills, jumping in there, doing the work, doing the job. And just to piggyback off what you said, pay attention, right? Like, pay attention to the details. Like, where do you stock your rooms? Do you have someone that stocks them for you? Do you take out the trash? Like, those are things that I like to know, so I can be like, I'm going to go stock the rooms, like, if that's needed, right? Or do you fill the gel bottles? Like, just like really like paying attention to the details of the department and then contributing to the flow of the department. Like, while you're a traveler, you're a contributing member to the department. And like, I always want to leave and to people be like, dude, like, Kim was awesome. Like, she was fun, she was friendly, and she like really helped us a lot, you know? And like, I don't know.
Another tip I can give you to leave is asking the full-timers, like, what's like an everyday like duty that you really don't like doing? And if they tell you, like, maybe it's like, I hate taking the sterile stuff down to, sterile processing. Be like, you know what, I'm going to take care of that for you. And like, I'll do that, so that way you don't have to while I'm here. And it just goes a long way because one, you're being concerned about your coworkers. Two, you're willing to take on a job that they don't like, which gives them a break, which then pushes you a lot forward in their mind.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'll say about that is just, this isn't about like you eating a shit sandwich, right? Like,
no,
it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna like take it up the butt the whole time.
I'm giving tips.
No, and just like be taken advantage of and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that at all. We're talking about, because you'll hear people say like they treat travelers, they make them do all this shit work, which I personally have not had that
Never
experience.
Had that.
I don't know if that's more of a nursing thing. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm sure people have experienced that. I have not. But we're talking about your first impression, showing up. And yeah, I've worked at places where you get comfortable, you get in there, you're now friends with everybody, you've got a flow, like you're a contributing member of the department, and there's like a portable that prints, you're like, fuck, I don't want to go do it. Like, just like anyone else in the department. So it's not like you're like the freaking, I'm going to do everything all the time and just run around. Like, that's not what we're saying. But we're saying just to kind of start out on the right foot, and then you'll find your balance and flow throughout like your time there. But I think what you're saying about the full-timer, like asking them what they don't like to do, I do try to think about that. Like towards the end, I was like, I don't give a, I'm not picking up more call. Like I don't care. I don't want to. But I think it's like, I would like remembering that these people, this is their full-time job. This is where they are. This is what they do all the time. They get their 2 weeks off, whatever. We're there temporarily. So we're leaving in a couple of months. So like, can we suck it up and maybe help out in certain ways that maybe you don't want to do, but you're out of there and then they have to go back to doing it. So I kind of just try to look at things.
I'm not, what I was saying had nothing to do with like, I'll pick up your call unless you wanted it. I don't take call. I hate it. Like I'm like, don't look at me. Don't ask me to take your call. I'm not doing it.
I'm not your traveler.
No, and I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy that's like staying late all the time, like just because I'm a traveler. Like, no, like I'm talking about like there's little tiny duties that you have to do to keep the day moving.
Like your work ethic at work.
Yeah, like maybe it's like restocking the cabinet that somebody has to do every single night, or restocking the IR room. Maybe you have to do that and they don't like doing it. Well, you could pick up that job for the first little bit and like really help them out with that, so then they don't have to do it all the time, right? It's just a way to exert yourself in to like show that you're helpful and you're getting in there.
100%.
That's it.
All right. I love that we said this was going to be 10 minutes.
No, it's, yeah. Well, we talked for 10 minutes about the membership site.
Well, it's awesome. Go check it out. Sign up to our email with the link in the show notes. Look out for the email on Thursday to become a founding member.
Whoop, whoop.
It's going to be an amazing experience for travelers.
And such a cool community. I cannot wait to watch this thing grow.
Community experiences, learning, education.
I can't wait to
all
go
the things.
Big on like the meetups and stuff. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Me too. Okay, look out for the email Thursday. And in the meantime, we will see you over on Instagram at Kim and Aaron G. And we will be back next Tuesday with another traveler.
Woo woo.
Bye.